That's a fact. That's Lawrence.
No more room in hell. The dead will walk here.
What's up, Harbor Fiends? It's your boy, Ricky Grimes, back at you. You're watching Three Corners of Horror here on Horror Fiend TV. I got my two brothers with me, of course, as usual. First, the man, the myth, the legend. They call him JR. What up, my brother?
Hey, a little change of course. Doing a series. This is our first time doing a series. It is,
For
right?
Three Corners, it is.
Yeah, good change of pace. We are gamers. Put gaming and horror together. Fuck. And there's this guy. Yeah, can't wait to talk about this. Was it Twisted Metal or was it just a freaking wreckage?
This guy, not Sweet Tooth, that guy, Joe the Psychologist. What up, my brother?
What's up? I'm looking forward to it. I mean, listen, I still have my copy. I still play it. I'm not even gonna lie. Every once in a while, you smoke a couple bowls. You're like, all right, I'm gonna play a game, and I sit there and play that game. So looking forward to it. Yeah, no pun on this one. I guess let's just go into full gear.
Let's do it. What are we talking about? We are going to be talking about the Peacock original series Twisted Metal, based on the best-selling video game franchise from Sony. The series stars Anthony Mackie as John Doe, Stephanie Beatrice as Quiet, Will Arnett, and Samoa Joe as Sweet Tooth. Everybody's favorite clown. Come on, look at the man right behind JR right there.
Love that hair.
You know what's funny about this is when near the climax of the series, when he actually gets the flaming head, I was like, this whole fucking time I didn't realize
that he did not have.
He didn't have it.
But if you notice it, I think that was a full wig, and he started as he started doing that, kept lighting it up, which is now that's why you have there's no hair, looks all scarred, and that's what's left of it.
Interesting.
So I think he's been doing that for a while.
Yeah, you know what, bro? Good shot on that, because in the Twisted Metal Black, I believe it was when it was revealed. Wow, it was somebody. It was a preacher. Didn't he curse Needles Kane and gave him the flaming head within the series? So here, this motherfucker lights his own head on fire, just like you said. So, good shot. I didn't realize that's why he's fucking bald, because he's singeing that shit.
Look at the. It's not a full round wig. It's just this is all you have left to it.
Awesome. Let's hop into it. First of all, I had low expectations when this was announced. Even when they had the first, I don't watch trailers, so when I saw the little clips people were talking about, they had, oh my god, they turned it into comical and this and that. Ooh, I was a little worried. But Joe, I'm going to throw it to you. When you first saw this series, what was your first initial reaction? Because this is about, 10 episodes, right?
10 episodes.
Yes. 10 episodes. So
they range anywhere between, I think, 29 to, I think the longest is 36 minutes.
Yeah.
So, they're pretty fast.
Talk to us, bro.
I mean, I honestly, so here's the thing. I didn't go in on low expectation here, only because, we have, granted, it's not horror, but we have movies like The Fast and the Furious. So there are good car movies. I mean, I'm not a Fast and Furious fan, but I'm just saying with special effects and stuff like that. There's a lot of movies, with James Bond, all his car chases have been done well. I wasn't worried about it. So for a hot minute, as I'm watching Sweet Tooth, because I was recognizing the voice, but it didn't match the body, I'm like, wait, it's this is throwing me off. But I was super fucking pleasantly surprised with this. I'm not even gonna lie. Actually, I'm not a car person. Honestly, this is not even a joke. If I'm a witness to a scene and cops come and ask me what the car looked like, you're gonna get it was blue with 4 doors. I love the cars in the series. It was nostalgia on display on my TV. I didn't have to control the cars. The cars are just doing what I normally would try to make them do. So it was awesome. I mean, the blood, the gore, it had everything, and it's just a whole lot of bloody fucking fun.
You mentioned Raven, which I found interesting because in one of her endings, I believe it was in Black, where it involved a voodoo doll, essentially. And in the series, when they cut to one of Raven's scene as Neve Campbell, she's actually messing around with a voodoo doll. So I'm not sure if that's just will be a little
little-
Easter egg or that's just for future, you know.
know.
She, I believe her, I got it written down, but I believe Shadow was her vehicle name.
Yep, Shadow.
And for me, the best adaptation of a video game was the first Silent Hill film.
Yeah.
I think that one was great. So now you get Twisted Metal. Now you get a character like Sweet Tooth, who everybody loved the freaking Sweet Tooth. Everybody knew the freaking ice cream truck with the big clown head on top, you know? So for me, it's like I didn't come in with low expectations. I just came in with, I would say, mild, not expecting too much, but hoping for the best. And I got to tell you, I think this delivered. I think this delivered perfectly because the comedy that was put in place didn't feel forced. It came at the right time. The slow build of the characters and introduction of the characters throughout the episodes helped it because now it wasn't rushed. My concern was, and I know me and you talked about this the other day, is, you know, if they would have basically built the whole storyline, the conclusion at the end, which we know was coming, if they would have rushed it sooner, I think it would have hurt the series.
Yeah.
The fact that they took their time, let us build John Doe character. Okay, now let's introduce these other characters. I mean, who doesn't like Agent Stone? Agent Stone was a badass. Come on, cool character.
Thomas Hayden Church, man, shout out.
I
Shout out,
know.
bro.
You know,
Didn't
yeah,
recognize him at first, by the way.
Oh, dude, he got old.
Yeah, I know we're going to talk about more characters, but for me, it was well done. And the slow transformation of Sweet Tooth character, I liked it, the comedy that was Sweet Tooth, because let me just be honest, if you're a clown, you have to have some kind of comedy in you. I mean, that's the whole point of being a clown. So if he was serious the whole time, I think it would have.
Well, but the irony was that he wasn't funny.
But in his
that was the whole thing.
Yeah,
That's why the character came out, because he actually wasn't funny. So his psyche broke and became Sweet Tooth,
seeking the audience the whole
still
time.
trying to be funny.
Yeah.
This series, I think, had the perfect balance between like humor, like you mentioned, Sweet Tooth, when he, you know, when he's trying to be funny, he's maniacal, he's like, you know, very jovial in a sense, but then he could flip the switch and become menacing, bro. He gets scary. It then goes right back to being, hey, Sweet Tooth. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But even when he was menacing, he was still Sweet Tooth, though.
yeah,
Because he wasn't menacing in a scary. He was still menacing and being sweet and, you know, like a little comical about it.
and it's very subtle. Like Will
Yes.
Arnett, the way he changed his vocal tones,
Oh my god.
and all of a sudden he brought in the creep factor. But like you mentioned, it didn't linger on it for long.
No.
He brought it, but then he quickly like, okay, no.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
don't go to the dark place.
Yes.
All right.
And a perfect combination. Yeah, like when I saw the first episode, I was like, man, this is great. Now the next couple, I didn't. It's not like I didn't like them, but it kind of it slowed down. Okay, now we're gonna introduce the characters, get everything going.
it
Then-
hit the serial point.
Yeah. Then but it quickly after like I think within 4 or 5 episodes, it picks up and it just doesn't let go. I like it how they structured the episodes where, we got the flashbacks. So we got Quiet's backstory. We got John Doe between him and Evelyn, which was freaking amazing. That episode, woof, yes, I loved it. Yeah, but then we also got a look into
Agent
some of
Stones.
the Agent Stone, exactly.
That was another good one to show you
Very
that
good.
it was all of his characters, all a facade.
Mhm.
A facade that he's still trying to actually make be real. So that was we're watching a horror like game series, and you had developed the character and you can actually see like the psychology. This was really a interesting show, and all around it was fucking awesome.
JR, we're talking about these cars and their drivers, a lot of different personalities. Who stood out to you?
I gotta tell you, well, I'll get back to Mr. Slam because that was funny. But the two that stood out for me the most, actually, yeah. Sorry, it's gonna be 3, but the top one for me, Preacher, because that scene when his introduction to Preacher and he's fighting Anthony Mackie, and he starts with the capoeira, and then, aren't you supposed to be a priest? I am. You know, I killed people in one of my masses. I still hear it. And he's saying this upside, like standing on his hands.
Yeah.
I still hear their voices. And
Because it was a demon baby that had
Oh my
possessed them or something. He
Yeah,
killed
it was
his entire congregation.
Yes. Yeah, Preacher was played by Jason Mantzoukas. Now, what made him good is because this dude is freaking. He's violent. That one scene where he beats the crap out of Anthony Mackie, and he looks at the cross. He goes, "Guys, what did I tell you? This guy's been dead for a while. This guy's ready to be crucified. What did I tell you?" I mean, it's just the comedy spiel on him was amazing. I loved Bloody Mary, her character. I mean, who doesn't love the psycho ex-girlfriend? And then, oh, come on, Stu. Stu was the man. Stu was basically
The heart and soul.
yes, he was the heart and soul, and he was the common voice a little bit with Sweet Tooth. That's one scene where they're walking out. He goes, "Oh, Stu, you know, can you come with me? You want to come with me?" He goes, "Yeah, I'll go with you." All right, let's go. He goes in there. Whoa, sit, bitch. He makes him sit down. He didn't want to
Harold, because Harold
had the front seat. But man, yeah, the Stu character. And all right, so Mr. Slam, like Rick said, he didn't have his construction truck, but he had something pretty lethal because there's one scene where he wants to be like Gallagher and break the watermelon.
Just say it, Gio. Just say it. Come on.
He got a big dick that can smash anything.
Yeah. And the funny part is you have this fight breaking out, and all he wants to do is smash the watermelon.
He's like,
and he finally does it. Yeah, and he finally does it, and then the next thing you show him after the fight, he's
to
like,
help the heroes.
he's like cowering down like this, and she's like, "Oh, good stuff with the watermelon." He goes, but yeah, I mean, characters were good. I like the way the characters were played. They could have went, like I said, the characters that had the comedic aspect to them was awesome. The ones that had the most serious role, I loved it. It's like they were perfectly cast. I mean, hell yeah.
Who had the best car? Your favorite, let's say, your favorite car.
I like Preacher's car. It was the purple, right? The purple hearse.
No, Brimstone is his car. The purple
Which is the
hearse
purple hearse?
that was quiet and
Quiet?
loud. That was their car.
obviously Sweet Tooth. I mean, it was great to see the iteration done properly, from the character to the car, the weapons. But when he shoots all the missiles and he basically takes out the people that he's supposed to be helping, and just like how he reacted, I thought that was awesome.
Flaming head and all, don't forget.
Huh?
Flaming head and all.
I know, flaming head. The flaming. I mean, come on. Because here's the thing. I waited the whole series for that, because I'm like, where's my flaming head? Like I'm waiting. So when I saw him douse himself, I'm like, nah, is this how they're gonna do it? And then he's like, light it up. Oh my god, that was fucking awesome.
Yeah, Stu with the little light.
I have that lighter, so that was like great. Like, but yeah, no, the Sweet Tooth character, I loved how it was done. Will Arnett's voice was awesome. I had to look it up to find out that it was Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe's awesome.
Dude, playing Samoa Joe, this guy deserves some type of award, because that's why I got so confused.
Yeah.
Because he was able to personify Will Arnett's voice perfectly.
Yeah.
That is really, really hard to do. It is a really hard, I mean, and like, even as you said, Will Arnett, he would change his voice, and Samoa Joe, his body, he, like, because that's all he had was his body, that motherfucker acted his body out for this role, but I'm not gonna lie, when I saw Twister, I was really happy with Twister. Dude, I was like, oh yes, I mean, Twister's character, the car, I loved her car, because again, when you play the game, everybody wants to go for the bigger cars because they think they're the stronger ones, but the little cars and the little fast
No,
ones.
Mr. Grimm would fuck you up, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
His
So,
special.
so yeah, for me, again, you're like, high props for Sweet Tooth and how it was done, perfectly cast, the voice and body. The car was so fucking awesome. When you saw the missiles just shooting out all crazy, they're not even going straight. It's like you're playing the fucking game,
Yeah.
like sitting there. It was just so awesome. So I love their cars. I did like John Doe's character. Like he did work on, like, the background stories you got. Evelyn. I'm sad. I was sad to see Evelyn go, and I'm like, was Evelyn actually in the series? because I only have Twisted Metal Black and the last
No,
Twisted Metal.
no.
So that was all right.
That's
So yeah, Twister, and Sweet Tooth. Those were my two favorite ones.
You forgot to mention the key important part here. When the missile shot, they use the actual sound effects from the video game. The
yes.
laughing clowns, you know.
Yes.
So you watch it, it sounded like you're playing the game, dude. And this series was littered with like little Easter eggs, homages, whether it's stages, sound effects, like we just mentioned, side characters, bigger characters, like even like they had the actual Twisted Metal PlayStation game.
I said
When he left, he passed by EB Games.
It hit on the
It hit him. He
windshield,
looked at it.
and I started laughing when I said it. That was pretty awesome.
Because that's when I knew, okay, this show is not taking itself seriously,
Yep.
and that is what I loved about this show. Oh yeah, my favorite, man, Sweet Tooth all the way, man. You mentioned Will Arnett and Samoa Joe, perfect combination. Joe's body language, his mannerisms, everything was just on point. And Will Arnett, like I had already mentioned before, man, he could turn it from like real crazy to jovial to menacing, back to being just, oh, okay, we're all friends, you're so unpredictable. Like when he saved Stu and he fucked all those people up, that's the gore. Like, oh my god, here comes the gore.
That was a great scene.
That was a great scene. He was my favorite guy. And I Roadkill was in the game as well. So when Evelyn got destroyed, and they fixed up the new car, and Quiet named it Roadkill, that's when it clicked. Oh my god. Okay, so I thought Anthony Mackie's character was just made for the show, but no. John Doe was the driver of Roadkill.
Yes.
And that's when they clicked. Wait a minute, my God, it's been years since I played this game, so
it's not been too long for me.
so he's okay. So Roadkill, that's the okay, perfect. Now, since we're talking Twisted Metal, I think this series did a great job of establishing the world. A lot of world building. The first season was world building essentially.
Yeah.
And when I started watching it, the very first scene, and I'll get to it when it's my turn, but I was like, this is Twisted Metal, holy shit. But then it got away from that. Then it started, we got a lot of character progression, introducing this person, that person. It just set the stage for what's to come for season 2. And I think that was the right choice. Because if it just started with the tournament, then they're gonna rush everything. But now they established Preacher, Twister, Miranda Watts, Flower Power, which is Amber Rose. They introduced a lot of these characters, right? Now we know who the drivers are of the cars. Sweet Tooth, obviously, John Doe. Where does Quiet play? We don't know yet because she's, last we saw her, she was with Dollface, right? Yeah, she was in the Doll army. So I like all that. If there's no season 2, that's a fucking crime because the way they set it up now, season 2 is the actual tournament, bro. That's genius. I hope it comes to fruition because now that they got all this world building out of the way, season 2 is just gonna be pure insanity. Joe the Psychologist, hit us up. What was your favorite sequence in Twisted Metal on Peacock?
Obviously, the ambush in which Sweet Tooth showed up. So it was Outlaw 1 and 2. When it looked like they were done, Sweet Tooth shows up. You've got Flower and them showing up. So it was just so fucking awesome to see what the game would look like. You play it because we know what it looks like on our big TV screens, but to see it like in actual cars. That scene that should give me a nerd boner. I mean, I was just there for it. It was so cool to watch all them taking each other out, which just kind of lets you know what the tournament is going to be like. So this gave you a little bit of taste of that. So that was my favorite scene. I do like the second one because we all kind of mentioned a little bit when Sweet Tooth showed up at the first of the outposts or whatever they were called. And he basically just massacred everybody. But
the best.
The best was as he's massacring, you're watching Stu's reaction, and I'm like, I feel Stu right now. I feel that if I was shackled right now, and some giant clown with a big fucking machete comes in, that's exactly how I would look. Like, I would be like, Jesus fucking Christ, like, what is going on here right now? But, you know, and when he chopped the head off and caught it, as Stu said, dude, I've never seen anybody chop the head off and then catch it. And then, you know, because they gave Sweet Tooth depth in the series.
Yeah.
You know, so when he massacred everybody, he finally got his standing ovation. It was so low key, like you know, it's basically he's been waiting all along, and then he does all this, and they're all like, they all get up. You know, Stu slowly gets up, but those are my two favorite ones.
I have two. I'm gonna go a little off course on one, and because I thought the episode was one of the best ones where you get the background with about Sweet Tooth, and the fact that as he's going through those outposts rescuing people.
You know,
his
I
whole
had a problem with that.
But his whole plan
was
when he gets to the asylum, because he was there for closure. And it's funny because he's there with all, you know, his whole crew, and he turns around, Harold, you're in charge. Stu, come with me. So
he leaves the bag with the gun.
So he goes inside and he starts talking to Stu about how he was in there, how his parents put him in there. And then as he goes through the different sections of the asylum, he goes, this is where all my friends were. They understood me. And then all of a sudden, you go into the room, and his parents are there dead.
Oh, that's fucking odd.
He goes, Mom. You know, he's talking to Mom. I'm not going to call you Dad. You're not Dad.
Stepdad, right? Yeah.
Yeah, then basically he just starts stomping all over him, and Stu's like freaking out. And then he turns around. Closure. All right, we go. And then
that's right. Because in his background, he his stepdad in the backstory said that if it wasn't for me, you would have been in the back of that taxi cab with your dad. And that's the taxi cab he's referencing was Yellow Jacket from the first Twisted Metal game.
Yeah. And I mean, who didn't like the fight sequence when they go to, you know, the outpost where all the milkmen are, you know, because they're all fighting now. Just what I liked about it is you have all these people who are drivers who made these trips, but they all want some kind of closure when they mentioned about San Francisco. Because once they find, and then he's drunk and he tells Bloody Mary, and then Bloody Mary goes inside and she tells everybody. And you all right there, man?
Are you laughing at me?
Joe.
I'm so high right now.
John Doe tells her, don't tell anybody about the mission you're on, what you're delivering. And then what the hell was the second? It was 2 rules, he said. But then he gets drunk.
No weapons.
He gets drunk and then spills the beans to Bloody Mary about San Francisco. And then the minute they walk inside, there's Mr. Slam waiting to break the watermelon. And Bloody Mary tells everybody. So what I liked about it with that sequence, they fought. And Pizza Boy got his head smashed.
What is Mr. Slam wanting to break the watermelon with, J.R.?
His dick. But yeah, I mean, and then you know, Pizza Boy gets his head smashed in.
I love the way he got fucked up by John Doe. I love that.
He did.
But I think that's what the interesting part about this is that even though they're all on the road, they still want to live some kind of normal life. They still wanted to go into San Francisco, which I think is an added twist.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that was my second sequence. Yeah, I love that part.
I like how John Doe mentioned it too. Like, I'm tired of getting like almost killed like every single fucking day. Like, no matter what job you're doing, you're always trying to get killed, you know. And speaking of almost trying to get killed, my favorite sequence peaked, not in a bad way, but it peaked in the very first episode. When I saw this series, bro, I just smoked a bowl. I was fucking nice, bro. So when I sat down, let me check it out. That when John Doe's driving through that mall parking lot, which was the states from one of the video games, by the way, and he's doing combat with the vultures. You got the missiles going, the gunfire, you know, just all the crazy maneuvering he's doing. I'm like, this is fucking Twisted Metal. This is awesome. I was so hooked from that very beginning. Again, but then the pace slowed down, of course. But hindsight, looking back, that was the right choice.
Neve Campbell's reveal as the villain.
Yeah.
And because she did that so good that it seemed like she was actually, you know, in this world of terrible people, there's actually somebody nice, and it was for ice cream.
Yeah, it didn't even taste good.
What's good about
No,
Oh,
because he said her the wrong thing. She asked for mint chocolate chip,
Yeah.
and he said her Rocky Road.
But I
And
like that because
Yes.
that shows you like the stuff we take for granted.
the simple stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, all of that just for a taste of ice cream.
You got 3
Well,
points.
no, it wasn't for him to pass his test, but yeah, it was still the wrong one. She's like Calypso, and I'm like, ooh, okay. So Raven is going to be Calypso's nemesis on this. All right.
And you
Well, I-
finally got to try pizza.
That's right, because John Doe's character is he had amnesia.
Yeah.
And he don't remember his family. He had a burnt up photo of this, So Raven obviously played that to he played with his emotions
manipulated
to
him.
get him manipulated John to do this job for that. And that was awesome. And I think my other favorite sequence was an entire episode. Evelyn. That's the
That was
title
a
of the
great one.
episode. I'm gonna be honest, guys. When Evelyn blew up and they had the whole montage of him picking up the pieces, and he made a little grave with the Evelyn license plate.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I choked up, man.
Oh no.
People could get murdered and massacred. I'm like, but when it's animals, I choke up. But the car, I don't know. It's because
well, the car saved him.
yes, because that backstory. At first, I was like, "Oh man, this kid actor, I don't know about him." But I think in the long run, it was a brilliant idea to show that, because you see the connection that John Doe had with that car. It ain't just a car. It saved him.
It saved him because
It
he
saved
found
him.
if he found the car when he was like basically
Yeah.
amnesic, went into the forest,
Yeah.
and it didn't turn on the first time, but when he needed to get out of a situation,
Yeah, those cannibals wanted to
Evelyn
eat him.
was what got him out of his situations. And that was the first moment that him and Evelyn connected to get him out of there. So yeah, that's a good
And don't
shout-out.
forget, he had amnesia. He don't remember nobody in his life. Evelyn, which was a car and an animate object, that became his family. The only person he was, well, I don't want to say person, but the only other I don't
Object
even know
of
what
affection.
Yes, object of affection he had in his life was that car. Not only, again, the car saved him, but he had such an attachment to that car because that's the only, other than the road in front of him, that's all he had was Evelyn. So when he lost Evelyn, I understood his pain, bro.
I think it's kind of funny that the psychologist went for the, like the slashing with Sweet Tooth and the car. And then you two got, we got the car one, and then we got Sweet Tooth's emotional background. I think it's pretty cool that you two, and actually I'm making fun of it, but it's pretty cool that you two noticed the 2 standalone episodes of showing humanity and like the characters, just building the characters.
Mhm.
So it's how good this series is, guys. Like seriously, if you have played this game, you're gonna love it. But you can get your girlfriend or your boyfriend to sit next to you and watch this because the series gives you everything. It's action. Guys are gonna get the action. You get these incredible backstories on the characters. They're
All
like
of them. Even
yeah,
Quiet
they're-
and Loud, their backstory was, that was
Yes.
brutal, man.
So you get these beautiful backstories. So this is a series that Adam watched this. I truly did not think I didn't think Adam was going to make it fast for the first episode.
What's your final say on this, brother?
Well, to try to put what Joe was saying, they took pixels and turned them into flesh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we're not seeing a video
much.
game. We're actually
That's poetic right there.
That was literally
what I like about this series, and this just shows you the difference of the three of us and what we look at, is I'm always storyline driven. And that was my biggest fear with this series is, are they going to do a good storyline to really hook the audience, even those that never played the game? Are they going to do good enough of a storyline to hook you in, make you understand what's going on? Because let's be honest, there's a lot of post-apocalyptic movies. There's a lot of post-apocalyptic series.
Yeah.
A lot of series do have to do with people venturing into, areas that are forbidding or dangerous. But
I won't lie though. it's good to get a post-apocalyptic story that does not involve like zombies or
Zombies
infected.
or
Or an infection,
viruses
Yes.
or
yeah.
you know,
So,
it's
yeah,
just because
so-
their internet went down.
Yeah, good shout, Gia. Good shout.
No, and I think that's what they did. I like, and the Sweet Tooth episode was my favorite one out of all of them because it showed
Nut House, right?
a well-rounded character. And I don't think this series really had any flat character going through. Every character gave something to the episode they were in, whether they had 2 minutes to shine, 3 minutes to shine. Even Pizza Boy, the minute you see them, you're like, look at this guy, man. Like you wanted to punch him.
Mind you,
and
he
then-
had that big ass red bubble jacket in the
yeah,
game.
I mean, you wanted to hit the guy, and then the Anthony Mackie did it for you. So, it's everything was good. It was a well-rounded series, first season that gave you humor, gave you reality, was very versatile, and it gave you characters that right now you don't know who you really want to root for yet. And then the backdrop of Calypso. So, I mean, for me, I'm going to give this a 5. I love
Ooh. Oh.
I love this series. I played this when I was a kid. I played this, so
Yeah,
much
bro,
that
this was
we
a
had people
PlayStation
coming
1
over just
original.
to freaking
I-
play this
People
cinematic.
forget this.
I
This
played against JR with this
Hold
game.
on.
So.
people don't realize this. This game was pre-Crash Bandicoot before Sony
Mhm.
had a mascot. So their mascot was Sweet Tooth
Yes.
Yeah.
for a while.
Yep.
Yes.
So this is definitely a big IP, man. For
Yeah.
for,
And not
for
only
Sony.
that, though, we still have a massive roster left to go.
Oh yeah.
So for me,
5. Good shit. Yo, Joe. Have you ever fucked in a ball pit?
I would not. It's funny
was
that you
cool.
bring that up because
Yeah,
literally when
kinda.
that was
Sometimes.
happening, I'm like, ew, germs. You don't, like
At that point, they
no.
don't care, bro. They live in germs,
I'm
bro.
gonna care.
the only thing
I-
I thought was like,
listen.
when's the last time you guys showered?
Well, no,
That's,
no,
bro, that's what I thought the
that's another
same.
good point.
I'm like, she must smell so bad. Oh.
That's another good point. But the ball thing, like I sat there when I'm like, and I guess not many kids are playing in there right now. But right now, I would not jump into one. No.
That.
But I'm gonna actually, because we have gone a little longer on this, but I'm gonna keep it short. I'm with JR. I mean, and I guess if anytime we do series, this is a 5 for me. I mean, this shit hit every single check mark that I need in a series. Like some of you guys might not classify this as horror, but it's a horror. It's the end of the world. People living at the end of the world. This is horror,
Well
brother.
said.
So this is a horror series, and I'm 5 for me.
It doesn't overstay its welcome. There's no filler at all. If there is filler, but it's backstories.
Important.
It's giving you important information to know where the characters came from and why they are where they are now and what their motivations are going forward. As far as the series, I'm gonna give it a 5 as well. I'm Ricky Grimes, my man El Jefe JR, and of course Joe the Psychologist. He still owns a copy of Twisted Metal
and still
Black.
play it. Still play it.
Still plays it. He still plays it. He still plays
On my
it.
PlayStation 2, I don't have a new PlayStation.
You don't
I
need a new
literally-
PlayStation.
I literally pull out, like, I'm not even gonna it's sitting on top next to my TV. I still have my PlayStation.
I think I'm
2
gonna
out.
subscribe to PlayStation Plus just so I can fucking play this game again, bro.
I'm gonna get. I can't wait to get to Adam to play
The
it.
nostalgia hits hard.
Hit hard. And I wanted to play the fucking game after I was watching. I'm like, I'm gonna go play right now. So, yeah.
Woo! I'm Ricky Grimes, JR, Joe the Psychologist, fans, Horror Fiend TV, you horror fiends, be good, stay safe, stay healthy, but most of all, stay fucking scared. And play video games.